And welcome back to ShopDog-Garage. Obviously, looks like I'm working on the 67 Camaro today. We had some company last night, and I put the car down to kind of see a few things. Half of the things that I'm nitpicking over, as Jeff would call it, are things you're probably, well, no one's ever going to see, but I will know. Kind of like, you know, from the front, that looks terrible. But from up here, it looks exact. How strange. So you have to figure out how all that actually gets lined up. There's some learning curve here. But you can see this front end is coming together. So there's a couple peaks here. I don't know what that's from. So next time this is off, I'm going to try to hammer that down. There's a peak here and here. So I'm not sure what that is from. But this side feels pretty good. That's within the bodywork just on primer. And then obviously we've been working down here. Working over here. I really like this transition better than this one. I'm not sure, but being as nitpicky as I'm getting, I may grind that down and rebuild it, or cut back here and slice it in. I don't know. I got to think on that. That seems like a lot of work for something no one else is ever going to notice. But you can see, you know, I've still got a little work to do here, but we knew that. Pretty happy overall here. There's still work in this seam and the deck lid. Remember, you got that little gap there. Real happy with the roof. Roof's good. Just needs a final wet sand after it's been washed. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not ready for the hood yet. That's probably coming soonish, but it's not yet. And then these extensions, they're looking pretty centered on the wheel well. They're looking correct. This one, the gap is just my fingernail. So, oh, I got a call. Obviously, I've been a little busy here. I am slowly working this area. I think I need this to curl down a little more to be more like this, because this side fit much better. So I'm working here. This needs to come up just a little bit. So I've just been prying against the lift and letting the weight of the car kind of help me. So at some point I need to pull this again and see what I can do here. That may be I may have to fill that in because it is a fold. So just kind of working. We'll see where this goes. As much as we feared, there wasn't really a way I was going to be able to press that back out. So we just did a weld build up here and flapped it down. And I think that's going to look a little better. I may work just a little more right here. So let me grab a little more right there. Okay. So this shows the change we've made here. This side, we haven't done anything but just clean it. This side now is very similar. And remembering, you actually see it like that. So I think I'm pretty close here. I think because of the way these are folded, I don't think that can get more perfect. And I'm just gonna stop playing here. I'm really worried that I'm gonna wind up warping this fold here. You know, the thing you can see real easy. And I couldn't help myself. So now I've just cut a wedge out. And now we're going to hammer this back in, weld it up, and then I think we'll be much, much happier with the reveal on that. Yeah, always chasing it. Chasing. It's never going to be perfect. Alright, so you can see, now some of that I'm going to have to wait until these are separated from each other to weld the caps. So let's find a nice stick. Here's a nice looking stick right here. Okay. Now See, we're getting much flatter. In fact, I could probably do a little build up here. But yeah, I don't know how well it showed up before, but that was bowed out a lot. See? So that's more what we're expecting it to look like. In fact, even this could take a little tap right here. But this is really cleaning up. Yeah, getting that to fold in was not as easy as I thought it would be, but we got it. You know, that's what 2-pounders are for. But that looks, oh, it turns out that's still kind of hot. You know, not the end of the world hot, but hot enough that you don't want to hold on to it for long. So that's looking a little better. And then don't worry about that little void there. That'll get body worked. Actually, it'll probably be hidden, but it's still going to get body worked there. Same with down here. So, yeah, that's getting better. Something I'm curious about with everything that we have done. Have we actually made any real changes in height here? So we're going from here up to the center of that lip is 8.5. From here up to the lip is pretty close. Well, and then from here, 8 and I'd say 9/16. And over here, yeah, we're 8.5. So we're within a 1/16 from side to side. That's going to help. So, yeah, we've pulled that down a little. We've pulled that up a little. And then there's our 1/4 inch. That helped. We're going to take a pause here. Pixie and neighbor Jeff and Diesel are here. So I have a feeling we're going to pop this back down and kind of go over it, take a look, remember what's going on. I think I will shoot a short at some point for it, but this isn't going to be part of this particular video. Just as we expected, there's going to be some mod work here, but I look at it, it's split. That's been damaged before, so there's going to be some cuts and mods here, so nothing's lining up like I want it to. So straightening this lower valence means I've also got to straighten this. In fact, I can see some wobble in that there as well, but I'm not going to order another one. I'm going to modify this one to fit. Okay, so I've got that back out, and one, I'm going to pop the horns off, but two, when you look on the back here, you can see it's been bent up quite a bit over the years. The shiny really helps show it. So much as I suspected, I'm going to be doing a little bit of work to put that back where it goes. I bet it used to have a fold in it. To put that one back where it goes. Yeah, so it'll take some time. But I think I'm going to wrap it for today. Did a little bit more work in the other room. So I don't know that this is the end of the video though, because it's probably pretty short. If you don't see any more after this, then please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. If you do, well, I'll talk to you in a bit. Thanks for watching. A few hours today to get out here and take a look at a few things. So I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this front end. I did spend quite a bit of time the other day looking at the spare Camaro, which started as a joke, but now is too funny not to use. And I may be over sweating some of this, but you know, I don't know what I'm doing. So I like to make things as nice as I possibly can. So kind of look at that a little bit more today. One more piece of the new grill came in, and that's the upper. It's in that box over there. As we've discussed before, not sure about the gold trim, or not gold trim, the way they did the chrome trim here. That was not what I was expecting at all. Honestly, I've never actually seen a car like that in person, But apparently there was a time in 68 where they did do that. So it is factory correct for some cars, not this car. But to be fair, none of this is factory correct on this car. This was a plain Jane nothing mobile that somebody modified in years past. So we'll keep working. This has gotten a lot better here, but I would like to close this a little. I know it doesn't look bad, but it could look nicer. So there's a little bit of work there. May actually have to pull that fender to do some of it. We'll see. Because believe it or not, some of that is related to this inner. So we'll monkey there. But yeah, just a nice easy day of playing, listen to a little music, drink some tea. It'll be good. Got the car up to make it a little easier. Been working on straightening this. This was a lot more bent up than I realized. So I've been working on this for about 20 minutes. It's getting there. I find having it clamped, because this was absolutely folded. I've been setting this dolly just a little away from it and lightly tapping in, and it's starting to straighten out. But yeah, this is pretty bent. You can see there's an arc right here. Yeah, I've got most of this bend out. A little more straightening here and here yet. But let's get it back to what the factory said it should be, and then figure out what we've got to modify to make it fit, well, you know, what Goodmark says it's going to be. Okay, so I've got this mount and these two mounts now where they're not under any tension. But I've still got to work this one, and it is way off. So I got a suspicion that this is bent. I know this is bent. It's cracked right here. So I just got to figure out exactly how I want to realign those, because what I don't want is this under a bunch of tension. So see, if I take this, pull it, now this is sitting where it wants to be sitting, and I don't know how well that shows up. Let me move the light. Unfortunately, everything's painted black. You know how that is. Okay, so let me turn that. Hopefully it's in focus and you guys can see, because I can't see the camera. But see, this is the hole, but the mount would be way down there. So I got to get those to line up a little better. I think I'm going to start with folding this guy in and jogging him over. I think that's where we're going to start. But I've got the other mounts all lining up. It's making progress. I had to do a little bit of welding. Oh, there's my gloves. Remember, there was that crack right there where it had been split and offset. And getting this to all be comfortable, I wound up actually having to knock and shift that over and overlap it. And now everything's bolted in pretty decent. I've also, now that we have this point held down, I had some wood stacked up in here along this line, and I've been prying against our reference point here. And I don't know if it shows up, but it is considerably better than it was. I'd like to focus right here a little bit. I think that'll close this gap a little more. There's definitely something to be said about having a frame of reference to pull against. So I've been using the frame and this pry bar here, and then just placing various blocks, like right here, prying down, tapping around the edge here to relieve it. And this is starting to look a lot more like what I want it to look like. See, it's got this outside curve now. And over here, it's more curve, but I'm getting there. And it looks like I need to reduce this area a little bit more. So standing here, you can see pretty flat across, arc, and then the curve. So definitely getting there. Is this nitpicky? Of course it is. Figure I might as well show you what I'm doing. Ignore the fact I in the video. So I've got that chunk of lumber here. I'm pulling against the core support here, putting a little tension. Not going crazy, you know, it's just a piece of sheet metal. even that alone, so see, I look here, little arc. See, I've got a little more right here, and then some over here. Will anybody but me know about this? Of course not. That's okay. But I'm sure over the years, this in whatever accident, this has been bent back and forth a few times. So anything I can do to close this gap by straightening and making the shape correct, that helps me. So between taking dollies and working out bumps, and then taking lumber and prying on things. So you saw that was a very long piece. So that goes from here to here. I'll stack one more piece just to act as a pusher. Put that in there. And then pull against that frame a little bit. And by changing where I'm pushing, so right now I'm pushing literally along this line right here. So if I apply a little bit of pressure and start tapping behind where I'm putting the pressure, that helps to kind of relax the metal a little. And that's what I'm finding. Just remember, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just beating on metal and having fun. But a little pry here and a little pry there. You saw, didn't go crazy. And yet, look how much nicer that already looks. So, one of the other things, I haven't figured out how to make a comparison yet. But I think this is curled here compared to that one. But I haven't figured out how to measure that and verify it. Not sure what I would do about it anyway. Might be a pushing from this location into this lip. That might help with that. I'll look at it. Well, I apologize. I got a little busy and forgot to record anything. But you can see this is getting a little nicer here. Yeah, some of these inserts are missing some legs, so I don't torque them down too much. We got new ones, but I don't want to use them yet. So see, that'll come down. This door, in fact, this whole assembly has some issues. So I'm going to have to address that at some point. See, that one, also listen. Now listen to this one. Something's not happy in that motor. So that's another thing I'll have to start looking into. But you can see the front end is really starting to look a lot nicer than it did. Here, let me show you from the angle you would actually see the car. So it's definitely getting there. I'm a lot happier with a lot of this transition. This reveal here is now finally really starting to get reasonable. You know, only so much you can do in the corners. But on the black car, I noticed, you know, that this is right against it, and then it gets wider, and it gets narrow, and wide, narrow. But because it's black, you don't even notice it. So, with this being a light blue, I really want that to be as close as possible. I think in the not too distant future, I should put that bracket back in, you know, just to make sure everything's bolted down nice. But who knows? Maybe next week we will see just how bad the hood is. I bet it's terrible. Because this is getting pretty acceptable, I think. I think I'm getting pretty happy with what I've done here. Remember, there will be some body work. This one, whoop, I can't get in there to do anything, and I don't feel comfortable on drilling all those spot welds and doing that, and then ever getting all this to line back up. And you can see the work I did on this strut definitely made a big difference. One, makes everything sturdy, you know. Now, these are just set in here, so they rattle a little right now. But they won't when they're done because they get riveted in. But, yeah. The other thing is we did play around and figure out how to align the headlight bezels. Turns out you can just kind of smack them. See, that's what I'm saying. Just had some screws acting as pins. But yeah, so remember, this is all old stuff, all getting replaced. Although maybe not with what I bought. We've talked about that. But yeah, this angle here, that looks pretty decent. So yeah, what a difference. Unfortunately, thank God I'm not paying somebody to do this. ShopDog's been inspecting, making sure that I'm doing a good job here. So I've got the car down, because one of the things we've definitely learned is you got to look at them from different angles. And you can see I don't think that's unreasonable. I think that's well within what the factory would have allowed. So I think we're going to go with that. I think I finally have that valance and this header ready. So at some point I got to pull all this back out and pop that guy in, because I think one of the next things I want to do is at least hang the bumper loosely and make sure things look the way I want it to. So yeah, ShopDog's not sure about that. All right, there was a lot in my way. I've got the headlight bucket kind of sitting off to the side. I can't just quite slide it out. But we went ahead and pulled all of this out of the way. Obviously put that bracket back in. I've got a bend here I want to make, and I think it's going to be easier this way. But more importantly, I'm getting ready to go ahead and grab the bumper and hang it. But the next time this grill is out, this light's coming out. We're going to find out what's going on. All right, I have no idea where the bumper bolts are. I have been digging and digging and digging. So for now, I just got a few bolts acting as pins. Much bigger gap here than I would have expected. And if you lock everybody down, you know, it's actually not terrible. Remember, these frame horns are a little adjustable, so I mean, there's a little up and down I can do. But until I find the actual bolts and can bolt it down, I don't know. The important thing now is more that everything, you know, is centered. And honestly, it's not unreasonable. So I will kind of keep an eye out for them, but I'm not going to stop everything looking for those bolts. Let's see, we got Dune coming up tonight, so we're off to the draft house. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to try to get this video up. Go ahead, wrap this up for today. I've got more than enough work into this for now. I'm really curious what's going on with that light. So when I get the grill out, I'm definitely going to look at that. Give me a minute here. Okay, that only took a little bit of time. Always a bolt you forget. But watch this. Now here's the motor. Here's the shaft. Let's see. Now it'll do it. When it was going without opening, see, it was sliding. So I'm going to have to tighten something up in here. Something in there is loose. So under this tension, now it worked. But see right there, it didn't. So I think this is just to take it apart and clean it. Hopefully the gears are actually good. And I don't have to buy all of this because I really don't want to. You can see the magnet's still good. So, alright, that makes me feel just a little better. With that, I think that is where we're going to close it out. So, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back again tomorrow.